superpowers to bring you entertainment.
Please, Mr. Zombie, don't eat me. I've got fibromyalgia. I've got gout.
And welcome to a Sunday edition of Business Party Podcast. We are joined by Nicole Powers. And yeah, I see now you have Dream Roulette on there. I saw that's what your site and stuff's called, huh?
Yeah, that's it kind of just came to me. I'm a big gun advocate as well. I'm not sure if you saw that from my social media handles, and always loved the idea of the game Russian roulette. Definitely not something I want to get myself into, but yeah, it just kind of came from that.
Nice, that's cool.
Yeah.
Mow.
It's a good card game too.
Yeah, right. Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to put it out there so that way everybody can see. I'm trying to, multitask.
Come watch.
So as I was saying, I saw your video about the about the children not going to drag clubs.
Okay.
And that's where I kind of started to notice you, and I started going through some of your stuff, and I'm like, you have very interesting, calm perspectives,
right,
from a eccentric woman.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, you can just call me a trans woman.
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna speak to what a woman is, because that seems like the hot topic of the day the last couple of years. And as far as I checked, a woman is an adult female, and I am not an adult female. I'm a trans woman. I've been socialized as a woman, but I'm not an adult female, and I don't understand why people are. It seems to be the hot topic, like I said, and people are making millions debating it. But as long as the definition says adult female, I'm okay with that definition, and we don't need to change that.
I was watching a live yesterday, and that was the topic of conversation.
They're great. They're great clickbaits to get people in and get people fired up.
But they were I recorded some of it because it was just amazing. It was amazing because they were talking about uteruses and how men's bodies are fit to carry babies, because nobody knows the science about how your hips can handle it. And
really, they said nobody knows the science on that. I'm pretty sure that's got thousands of years of science to back some of that up.
Yeah, there's not really much to it. For the dawn of existence, women have had children and men haven't.
Right.
I don't know why. I honestly, it's kind of funny that this is becoming such a topic of conversation, because it doesn't need to be, and it's a great distraction from the left taking over the world, in my opinion. So,
yeah, it's just funny that one way it's trust the science, and the other way is the science is always evolving.
Yeah,
right.
What?
Trust the doctors, but not someone like Dr. Peterson. Don't trust all doctors.
Scott Jensen.
Only the ones we tell you to.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I don't know if you recently saw, Jensen was just served with another thing of papers to get his doctor removed. And if people don't know Scott Jensen ran for governor of, I believe it was Michigan. And yeah, he was running for governor of Michigan. He lost, but yeah, he's also a doctor, and he's been telling everybody that, that we should be skeptical about some of these, things that we put in our body. And now it's gotten to the point where the Keith Ellison is now going after him. So, so it's just like, I don't know. We live in a weird time. We live in the most informative yet least informed people ever.
Yeah, you ain't lying, because we do have all the information, but yet a lot of it just does not seem to actually sink into people's heads, or they get on the delusional train about the information that really isn't good for anybody.
Yeah, a lot of times I feel like, especially people in my community, well, I guess they've already denounced me. I don't know if I'm part of the trans community,
Don't
but
you love that?
yeah, other trans people, they seem to seek out the information that best fits their insecurities, right? So they're going to want to find information that says, I am a female, I am a biological woman. When you're a trans woman, they're going to find that information, and they're going to jump on board that train. So even
Right.
though the real information's out there, like proven information for thousands of years, like we were talking about before we went live, or right when we went live,
hmm
that's not what'll stick with them. It'll be the ones that best suits their needs.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it before, but my wife put out a thing on Facebook about, this kid was searching about coffee and whether or not coffee was good for your
Coffee.
sight, good for your sight or not good for your sight. And he Googled both and he came out with both answers that coffee was good and coffee was bad. So it's like whichever way you want to go, it seems like that's the way, well, this is the information. And I was just, it's TikTok is a wild place. Okay. It's a wild place, but the
The
reason
internet is a wild.
Yeah.
yeah, yes, it is. I mean, but you can the thing with TikTok is you see it's like the CNN or MSNBC of the news. Like you just basically only see one, and then every time you have like a quote unquote Fox News, which they're just corporate media, so
Mhm.
doesn't matter to me. But and then all of a sudden you see corporate, a little bit of right wing people, and it just droves of people in there. Just you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking. You're so stupid. You're this. You're ignorant. You're ugly. You're such an uncle. This, and I'm like, dude, what the? You guys are talking about diversity and inclusion. You don't even include your own people.
Right.
Yeah, they don't. Like, it's funny, the only people that have attacked me for like physical attributes, like, oh, look at that jawline, look at this, look at that. It's only like I'll click on their profile, they have their pronouns on wide display, they have, all their social justice content and recent March history on
Right.
display. And I'm like, I thought you were with me. What happened to that? Just because I said that I don't support this or I support that, there it is. You're fighting a fight for, like I said, your insecurities. You're not fighting the fight for everyone.
Mhm.
So let me ask you an important question.
Yeah.
You still get along with your dad?
Love my dad. I just got off the phone with him and I said, hey, I'm on this podcast in like a half an hour. I don't really know these guys, but it should be fun. Yeah,
Nice.
we do. We're good friends.
Do you guys go hunting or anything like that? Do you enjoy
Fishing, surfing, kind of like sports, tennis. Yeah.
Where do you live? Address. What is it? Quick, go. No, what state?
I grew up in Florida. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah.
My first memory of Florida was my grandparents took me to Florida, and I'm from New York, New Jersey area, and it was cold, and we got to Florida, and I was wearing a tracksuit because it was the 80s, and I got off the plane and I went outside when we get the car. And as soon as I sat in the car, my tracksuit tried to melt itself on me. So
Oh yeah.
from forever, that will be the first memory I ever had of Florida. But Florida, apparently, you guys,
We're the beacon of conservatism right now. I mean,
Mhm.
what DeSantis is doing is saying there's a reason why everyone is moving here. And it's not just because of the beaches. We
Right.
have favorable taxes. We have the least amount of indoctrination going on in our schools. And, we have educated healthcare workers, the most they can be in the state. So yeah, I'm happy to. I don't want to lose him if he runs, but I'm happy to have him for sure.
Oh
Right.
yeah, he's got my vote. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was listening to Ben Shapiro and he was talking about the worst thing you can do in politics is miss your moment.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
I feel like if he doesn't run, he would miss his moment, but we'll see what happens.
The thing
Yeah.
is, you really have to know what you're talking about when you go into politics. And then sometimes my wife's a lawyer, so I know what I'm talking about. So,
Yeah.
Ron DeSantis is a good guy. All right, Ben, relax.
Yeah.
I want to see that guy in cocaine. That's what I want to see. Hey, Ben, take this line. What is it? Don't worry. It's
Oh,
okay.
man.
It's Advil.
I saw him at a Target once in Boca Raton. Yeah, and I didn't go up to him, but he was buying some AirPods, and it was like right when COVID hit, and South Florida is like a mix between conservatives and liberals, and him and I were the only ones in Target without a mask on, and we kind of head nodded to each other, and that was it.
Nice.
Listen, listen. You only live once. I would have went up to him and been big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But it is like it's so funny to hear people talk about, well, Florida had the most death rates. I'm like, have you looked at Florida's death rates before? Florida, I realize, is the place people go to die for
That's
the
right.
most part.
Right. I just call it
yeah.
God's waiting room, basically.
It really is. It
Yep.
really is.
Yep.
You know, you got, and I didn't know this, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but like Disney has their own little like section where kids with cancer go to, and they'll stay there and they'll give them food and all this, like they'll give them whatever they want for the last couple months of their life. And I'm like, this is the saddest place on earth. This isn't the happiest place on earth. But it's
Yeah, no, Ron's really cracking down on Disney too. I'm not sure if you've seen, like, they've had their own police force and everything, and he goes,
Mhm.
new generals in town, like that's not going to happen anymore. You're going to use our public, and you're gonna pay for it too. So
Right.
I mean, what, 3 people have died at Disney in the last 40, 50, 80 years? That's
yeah,
it?
I mean,
They just,
they're I don't know what all goes on in Disney. If you want to talk about the Illuminati, it's whatever goes on there.
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those. No, he didn't. Nope, he's still breathing. No, he's not. Yes, he is. His heart's still going, isn't it? It's faint. Get him off the property. Nope, didn't happen on Disney property.
Isn't
right.
isn't fucking Walt Disney's head still frozen somewhere?
Is that right?
That's what I
insane.
heard a long time ago. That he
Oh, God.
he had like either his head or his body or something frozen, so they can de-thaw it whenever they came up with whatever like he had for his disease. But dude, you're not gonna be alive. Like, I'm sorry if you're frozen that long. There's no way.
It sounds
Yeah.
like a Dr. Evil-esque.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say it was shoved in Hitler's ass. That's where they're storing it.
Right.
Oh man. But so okay, so you grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
What made you want to do the change? Like, was it like this feeling as a kid? Like, did you just know you were different? And did you wait until a certain age?
Yeah, I feel like that's a big topic right now, and one I'm really adamant on is that you need to wait until your brain is fully formed
Mhm.
before you know what you're going to do in your life. Like, sure, I'm not going to lie and say that 12, 13, 14 years old, I had thoughts that something was different. But I said in one of my videos, like, I was too busy, like, playing sports and
Mhm.
making friends and worrying about school and, innocent kid stuff. I'm not over here, like, waiting for my blue-haired teacher to tell me that I need to be on hormone block or puberty blockers. I
Right.
wasn't waiting for that. I was just like, okay, like, when's the next tennis tournament, or when am I going to go to the beach with my friends? So yeah, I mean, I did feel those things, but I was too busy worrying about things that a kid should worry about. And then when my brain started to fully develop at 25, 26 years old, I had thought, like, is this an undertaking that I want to take? I remember sitting in a restaurant with a friend of mine in law school, and I was like, God, like, I could probably live happy the rest of my life and not go through a transition. But it was almost like a why not?
I want something to play. I want something
yeah,
fun to play with at night.
no, but it was kind of just like picking. I didn't really know what all went into it, like, and that's what these kids don't know for sure, is that it's not happiness and rainbows. Like, you're going to be discriminated against, and that's
Mhm.
okay, because this is not the normal path to life. You were going to have a hard time. Not forever, maybe you'll have your own business one day, or get a great job and a family and everything like that. But it's there are medical risks, there are social risks, and you need to. I was 25, 26 years old, and still I didn't grasp it all until I actually dove headfirst and started doing it.
That's crazy. That. I mean, that's the thing that with the kids is like, you don't know what you want to do as a kid, and kids are asses. I'm sorry.
Right.
Kids are asses. I mean, they are complete. Like if a lot of people think about when they were kids and like, especially like me and Scott grew up in the 80s, and I know you grew up in like the 2000s. We know.
I'm 33. You guys are what, maybe 10 years older
40.
than me?
Yeah,
Okay.
40. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't make it.
So
It's 7, man. 7.
yeah.
But yeah, like, kids were jerks. I mean, we had movies like Nerds, Revenge of the Nerds, and like, kids are jerks. Now throw on top of that, trying to change who you are completely. Like
Right.
not only that you're changing
Well-
completely, now you want to change it's like, how do you go 6 different ways at such a young age and not
Right.
feel overwhelmed or confused or like you want to do something and life isn't worth it, man? I don't understand
Well,
that.
It's crazy.
like how well, like you're saying, the brain doesn't even develop really, to be honest, until you're 25.
And
fully.
we are following the science here.
Right, and
Like,
follow, yeah, exactly. And I mean,
we
to be
are.
honest, like making a lot of those decisions whenever you're that young, a lot of them, like, and you were saying the medical side, a lot of them you just can't come back from. So that's whenever it comes into the decision making with all of that towards kids, why a lot of us start getting a hubbub about it. It's like, let these kids be kids. And like you said, you even had thoughts at that early age, but there's still so much shit going on.
Yeah, and when you hyper focus on something, it consumes you.
Right.
And like let them hyper focus on English or math or something.
Right.
Like let that consume them. And then
The other concern is like the trending of it and just doing it because
it's
of
trendy as
like
shit.
exactly, yeah, and then that makes you make some life altering decisions.
Yeah, I mean, Hollywood is doing a great job, like Sam Smith with his devil
Yeah.
performance at the Grammys. Everyone made sure before he performed, Sam Smith is now they them.
Yeah.
Like what I remember when he was just some like innocent bloke that was scared to fly in airplanes. Like
Right.
what kind of check do you need from Hollywood to be non-binary and to wear tight red leather spandex? Like that's got to be a that's got to be a big check, obviously. But I
You would
mean,
think.
it really is disturbing because it's not a trendy thing. Like I mean, it's not a great thing either. It's just something that some people feel like they have to do.
Mhm.
And a child doesn't have to do anything but continue living your childhood. Like there is nothing that dire in a child's life where you need to take medication to solve some mental illness regarding your gender.
Right.
Like if it's that dire, that means that there's something that has happened at school or at home or in
Yeah.
the media that has convinced him that this is so dire.
Mhm.
It's funny that they will try to take your kids away if you don't get them a shot, but they'll allow you to pump them full of hormones and testosterone at a school
Yeah.
without the parents being notified or the parents even doing that. And that's fine. You're okay. But if you refuse to do something, the state will step in
We're
or the
gonna
government will
take
step.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy.
wild. It's
Yeah,
wild.
it seems like 1984, like mixed with Hunger
Yeah,
Games, mixed
right.
with
Idiocracy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but hospitals and doctors, they don't make money from making people well. They make
Yeah.
money to get people sick.
Exactly.
And a healthy kid is of no use. How am I going to make money off of a healthy kid? Like
Mhm.
you get them to think that they're trans. Well, now you have endocrinology bills, you have psychiatric bills, you have, you can bill that insurance to the max.
Mhm.
And I don't know, a gender questioning kid's $1 million probably. I don't know what
Right.
they're
Oh
billing.
yeah.
Mhm.
Between the surgeries and the medications and all that, yeah, that's a that's a lot of money. I mean, but also a dead kid is also
It's more
dead
than
revenue.
it's more than business. So like Hollywood wouldn't step in, and everyone's not stepping in if it was just business. Like it's not just business. There's other agendas at play here.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like I'm on TikTok and I'm like having to watch what I have to say, but I can really say whatever I want.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like I don't think you can say the word pedophile on TikTok, but
Mm.
there is that sort of agenda at play here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where especially like trans age, where you're saying, oh, I'm actually a
Oh
4-year-old,
man.
I'm actually a 3-year-old, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna play with 3 and 4-year-olds and go to daycare or something like.
Yeah, which is the creepiest shit ever.
Well, it's just like I remember the old argument with gay marriage was, oh, what's next? You're gonna marry, like, I can marry my goat. Well, it's almost like what's next here with the trans thing. Like, I can identify as a toddler. Like,
Right. Well,
there need
that was like my big thing. Like, I understood when people were trying to say love is love, and I'm like, well, to be honest, no, it's not, because that's going to start getting into a whole different area that people don't want to get into. Well, look where we kind of went.
yeah, love is love until you check out a back alley in Mexico City. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna see some love is love with the equine
Yeah.
industry.
Right.
I mean, I have seen. Listen, the internet is a wild place, like you said. I have seen some videos. Mr. Hand, oh boy,
Oh my God.
Uh,
That's the
But,
most fucked up shit.
I know. I don't know. I think Man versus Jar was even worse than that.
Oh my God.
That was a lot worse.
That's frightening.
But yeah, I mean, it all leads back to the money. And I've always said this ever since, like, I was never a big conspiracy person. Never. I was always just like, JFK was this, Lennon, John Lennon was this. And then the virus hit, and I still don't even know what to say anywhere either. So I just, and that's another thing that they make you think about what to say. So they're thought policing you now. So now you have to think about, that's another conspiracy. No, the government's not trying to get you to think, but yeah, I'm here thinking about what I can say on a social platform. But when the virus hit, and I saw that the bill that they wrote, that each hospital that had a death from that got $40,000 per death, I was like, wait a minute, there's something not right here.
People would die of a car accident and come in and say, nope, it's COVID, because we need to get that check.
Yeah.
So.
And AOC was telling everybody, hey, if your loved ones passed away and you want to say it's COVID related, just go back to the hospital and have them change the death certificate. And it's like, why? Why would you have a sitting person in Congress telling you to go change a death certificate? Like, that makes no sense. And it was just kept going and going. And I tell the story about the one time I spoke to a police officer who told me when this first started, he was out in a call. 2 EMTs came. It was a husband and wife. The husband was dressed in a hazmat suit because they had said that the guy who was in this accident had the virus. So he had a hazmat suit on, and the wife, who was a couple feet away from him, didn't. You want to know who got the virus? The guy in the hazmat suit. And ever since then, and this was like 2 weeks into it, like literally after they're like, oh, 2 weeks, okay. And 2 weeks in, I was like, this is, and then the bill was written. I was like, nah, this is not what they're saying. This is not what they're saying. And then the lunatic craziness of it is the people that buy into this. And like, yo, you understand you're fighting for being oppressed. And they're like, well, this is not slavery. Nobody's talking about oppression. Doesn't just equal slavery. Oppression equals you don't have your own rights to do something. So how do you fight for, the plight of the black man and then still say you're white, you're not oppressed, even though everybody, everybody in America was told, everybody in the world was told stay home. Don't leave your house.
That's what I was thinking. Like, the 10-year trans agenda was, let's get reparations at the end of it. Like, that's what, and that's insane to think, but it's not. It's not
anymore.
I mean, that's going to be something that will be said, and people will. People will not think that's insane. And, I have a new video coming out today on YouTube that I'm proposing that the new trans flag should be the American flag. We have the most rights out of any other trans. Like, if you're trans in any other country in the world, you can't do half the shit that we're like. I'm able to start a business. I'm able to do
be honest, you'd be lucky to be alive in other countries.
Yeah, I mean,
which is sad to say. It's pretty fucked up, but it's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, and if that was the case, I would not transition in those countries. Like
Right.
I would have made the decision, the survival, decision in me to, depending on whatever is going through my head, I'll probably continue on doing what I'm doing. But I live in the greatest country in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what I felt was going to be best for my survival, and I did it, without
Right.
taking advantage of anyone else, and I did it as a fully consenting adult, and I don't understand what's changed. Why do we need more?
Right.
Like equality is equal. Like fully consenting adults can do fully consenting adult things. Let's continue to do that.
Well, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you could be living in Ukraine and be forced to fight on the front lines and then not letting you leave.
Oh, well,
You
they'll
know,
force you to be on the front lines, but you'll have guys doing Pikachu dances and shit
Well,
while they're
if
getting billions
I'm
from
on the
us.
front lines in Ukraine, at least I'll have some badass tanks that I know we're sending over to
Right.
them now. Like,
True.
dude, I was sitting there listening and watching the press conference between Blinken and the press, and I'm hearing people tell me, "Oh, we're just sending them our surplus. We're just sending,
No,
it's
we're
whatever
not.
we." And I'm like, "No, he said it in the thing. We have no surplus of tanks. We're building new ones
Oh, yeah. And guess
to send to them."
and by the amount that we're supposed to send to them will not be reached. You know how long it would take to send the amount of tanks we want to send to them realistically? About 5 years. That means that they think this war is either going on that long or it's a fucking money laundering scheme. Let's do the math. What do you think?
I want to know I want to know the shipping cost of shipping a tank to Ukraine too.
Right, exactly.
Let me call the post office. I
Yeah.
don't know if you could do that. FedEx might do that. That might be a little bit.
I mean, talk about like tapping into. My dad told me the other day that our oil supply, like our
Mhm.
reservoir, is the lowest it's been since we started it.
Yeah.
And Trump wanted to fill it up, and everyone's like, "Oh no, we don't need to do that." And
Right.
The thing
I
is,
think we did.
Yeah.
that man, for as crass as he is, and for as sometimes he could say, like, he talks in encryption. Sometimes I think, like, he'll
He
tell
wasn't.
you,
He
like,
wasn't a politician. I mean,
no,
who the hell cares? Like, he's not a politician, but he did some awesome shit.
Mhm.
They like that stupid Harry kid, that's now like all over the White House and the typical Democrat.
Mhm.
He's just sitting there and because I still doing lives, and he's just sitting there around. Oh, Trump didn't do this. Biden has done this and this and this and this. And I'm going, dude, how delusional are you? How delusional? Like,
Did you give him the link to your podcast? Or did you give him the link to your show?
dude, I don't
Right.
even. I don't even want. These kids just are so.
Well, I want a old boy from one of our last podcasts to come back on, the nurse that was on Twitch that said we were scared of trans people. Be like, hey, we
Oh,
have one
yeah.
on right now. Why don't you come talk to us,
Oh
buddy?
my god, that was great.
Yeah.
It turned. What was it? What was it? What did it start out? Oh, the vaccine. We don't know. We're
Vaccine,
talking
yeah.
about vaccines. To you hate trans people.
Yeah. We're like,
Like,
okay.
dude, how did we get there? How did we get
I'd love
there?
to talk to the.
All you got to do is disagree.
A male nurse. Is that right?
Yeah.
Reminds me of Fokker from me. You're a male nurse.
Listen, I think Fokker was what happened after Along Came Polly, because I think he just ate that peanut and decided I'm going to be a nurse, and then he became a
Right.
Fokker. But yeah, and having civil conversations with people is just it's so hard to do, and because I was talking, Millennial Spike Lee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
We
Real good
should
dude.
have you guys on together, because that
Yeah.
would be
That'd be cool.
great. Me and Scott could just sit back and y'all could just go at
Yeah,
it.
I'd love it.
But we were talking, and he loves to like stay on topic and everything like that. Thank you, baby.
Delivery.
DiGiorno. They were talking about something. I think it was like a school shooting or something like that. And this woman came in, and she was just so, you don't understand. And he's like, ma'am, stop getting emotional. You're using emotional. We're having a civil, trying to have it. No, Spike, I used to like you. And it's like, relax. Let's have a regular conversation. I get it. You've been traumatized. You've had something in your life that affects you. And it's just like comedy. It's like people will make comedies and joke about certain things that'll offend certain people. Then you'll go to the next joke, and it won't offend them, it offends somebody else.
Mhm.
And then those people start laughing, and then the next people get offended, and the next people get offended. Like
Mhm.
everybody will get offended no matter what you say, you know? So it's like people have to just calm down and relax, and they can't. And the problem is that rage transfers into money.
Yeah.
And once again, everything goes back to the dollar. If you go on TikTok and you watch people have conversations, the conversations that get the most clicks and the most views are people arguing in their lives about nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
People who have civil conversations and talk and go, hey man, I disagree with you is this, I disagree with that. No, I think it's this. 80 views, 80 people in there. The other one has 2.7 thousand, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, it's a drama sells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I love it. I love the Kardashians.
Or you could be just like a hot chick and just like standing there like the whole time.
Yeah.
That does well too.
All the time on there. It's so weird.
Yeah.
This is how dumb some people are on that app. I will be watching Yahoo News and it'll just show somebody donating money to Yahoo News.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Why are you sending like a universe to Yahoo News? How dumb can you be? It's like, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my God. Like, but that's where we've come. People are just so misinformed and don't want to listen and just wait till you stop talking, and then they want to prove their point. Like I was saying, the live I was watching was a bunch of transgendered females talking about how they want to give birth and how it's possible, and science is saying it's possible, and then women were saying how it's not possible, and you're taking away what a woman is, and you're trying to take away what a woman is. And they're like, well, we're not trying to take it away. And they're like, this is what you're doing. This is how I feel. I don't care how you feel. Fuck how you feel. And it's like, but no, fuck how you feel. Are you transphobic?
Oh, God.
What?
See, and then that goes back to that whole like the last time whenever I was on I think was it this? I can't remember if it was this or if it was on Two Jacks. I think it was on this when I looked up the actual liberal definition. Oh, it was on what's it called? Liberty or Death podcast. Remember, I looked up liberal definition. Means you actually are open to other ideas about, like, well, you guys are not that at all. If you want to call yourself liberal, then call yourself neoliberal, the new age bullshit liberal that can't be on
It's
any
fascism,
side of anything.
Like controlling what's said is fascism.
Mm-hmm.
But we're the fascists, like actually speaking what we want to talk about. That's again, but that's just what fascism is labeling free thinkers as the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So what sports did you play growing up?
Tennis, golf, and I was a big surfer, skateboarder, that kind of thing.
Nice.
All right. So where should I land in Florida, and when are we gonna go play? What's the tea time?
Yeah.
That's good for
No,
you?
I had a TikTok saying I actually played professional golf for a year.
Nice.
As a woman, though. And
you got those divorce papers ready, babe? I love you.
And I kind of talk about now, like, even though I didn't grab any awards from other women and everything like that, like, it wasn't it wasn't right, and it wasn't what I should have done. Even though, like, played on something called the Symetra Tour. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
It's like the road to the LPGA, right? It's like a qualifier challenger tour. And, they have under their gender guidelines, 3 years on hormones, you need to have this levels of hormones, you need to have these surgeries. And I followed all of the guidelines, but at the end of the day, like, I went through male puberty, like, just because I'm not at the top of my game. And if I was at the absolute best I could be, of course I'm going to win every single tournament, but I wasn't. And just because I wasn't didn't make that okay. Like Leah Thomas, I'm sure you know about Leah Thomas, like that person was at the absolute best of their game. So of course all of the awards and the competition is going to favor that they went through male puberty. Leah went through male puberty. And I mean, it just, I don't understand how people can't see if someone's making 400th and 500th place in the male league, and now you're winning every single one in the women's league. Um, that's not equal. Like
Right.
that's not fair. Like it's a
Right.
pretty objective standard. I don't know why we
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
lost
Well,
it.
that got set. That standard actually got set a good little while ago when what was it, the 286th ranked male tennis player versed both Venus and Serena Williams in the same day and beat them both after having 2 glasses of wine and a cigar.
See, I always thought that Serena could beat any male player,
Right.
because she's just a badass. But
Right.
that yeah makes sense. I mean, I don't know, men that have gone through male puberty have a stronger muscle structure.
Mhm.
I don't care. The years of hormones won't change that, and surgeries don't change that.
Right.
It's pretty objective. Like
Mhm.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like I
Is
feel
there
like if you can sign, and I said this in one of my videos, if you can sign your potential fertility away, you can sign the ability to unfairly compete against women in sports away too. Like if that's something you can uh, consent to, so should sports. Sports seems a little bit less on the totem pole than fertility.
Mhm.
yeah. It's I don't know. It's just so like it because they were also talking about like I don't know if you heard that some girl was talking about the now it's a big thing in Florida. DeSantis wants to talk about the tracking of girls' periods or something like that.
I saw something
Hmm.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of women like, yeah, you need to kind of
it's just for
coach
health
me.
purposes, I think. Like,
Yeah, it's for
yeah,
health purposes because if they're too low body weight, like I didn't know that. Like I watched gymnastics on the Olympics. Yeah, and I was
they don't have their periods.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
fucks with
because
them bad.
they're so small and they're so underweight and everything like that, they don't get them.
hmm
And so like they have to, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't know, but they have to give themselves extra stuff. Like vegans don't eat meat, so they have to take vitamins to supplement the
Oh
meat that they
yeah.
don't eat.
Yeah.
It's like
I know when I talk to vegans about that, they're like, "But I supplement with it." I'm like, "Then why are you supplementing? Just eat something with it in it. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop it."
Yeah, we had a pretty good system going on for a couple thousand years where you eat like a omnivorous diet and
Right.
seemed to be pretty good.
Right.
no, but I mean, everybody wants to change everything up,
Yeah.
Mhm.
cut things off, and I couldn't like growing up for me. I was a fat kid. I'm not a fat adult now, but I was a fat kid and like getting teased and all that stuff and not fitting in where I wanted to fit in and all this stuff and going through all that and it turned me into, who I am today. But like I couldn't imagine at that same time going, hey, I want to get bigger tits because I have tits as a man. I want to get bigger tits, and I'm just gonna, take therapy and take hormones and just make it smaller. I would have gone insane. Like I couldn't imagine another a kid going through that. Like, listen, there's some boys that are good at young boys that are good at fashion, and you go, we kind of see where this is going,
Right.
but
But that's okay. Like,
yeah,
Mhm.
and
they
let
don't
them.
need to figure out their entire life right then, and we don't need to tell
Right.
you, "Hey, you're actually going to be gay." Like,
Right.
we don't need to tell them that then. Just keep prancing until you're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we all
Keep
had
on
that cousin where all the uncles looked and went, "Good luck."
Yeah,
I mean,
surprisingly, I was never that kid. I was like pretty normal and such for like a boy growing up. I don't know. It was just
Mhm.
I don't
do you
know,
have a lot of
maybe the
do you have a lot of girlfriends or like?
no, like I said, I was a very competitive golfing, tennis player, surfing, skateboarding, just pretty normal dude. Yeah.
I wish I wish everybody would transition was just like normal and chill. I mean, but so your family like growing up never kind of
Yeah, I mean, like for like, I kind of asked my parents later on, like, did you guys know? And like, we could have maybe hinted at it, but it wasn't something we're gonna hyper focus on. Like,
Right.
whenever I started picking your own friends in middle school and high school, and they weren't just, people that were in my classroom, they tended to be more women, but I mean, that's just, I don't know. It didn't seem too coincidental at that point. And then uh, after after high school, yeah, I kind of just kept on doing what I was doing, but um, yeah, no big like red alerts or anything. No.
So, I,
I mean, but like
listen,
in my head, I'm thinking like, but again, it's not something I hyper focused on, and I'm not gonna, you know, I still had a path that I was doing. I was gonna, do this sport or finish this degree, and I'm gonna worry about this maybe later. Like, let me set myself,
Right.
and that's something that I think needs to be done. Is like, don't set yourself up to be a burden to anyone. Like,
Right.
do you, and if you're gonna get your degree, but don't, get your degree and make yourself even potentially less employable afterwards. Like,
Right.
get your degree, and then, when you're at a comfortable position in your life, then figure out things that you potentially might want to do. Like, don't get a face tat and then want to be a surgeon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Very
you,
true.
you mean you wouldn't let Lil Wayne operate on you?
no,
Right.
like I probably would get another opinion.
Right.
Now you won't see. You won't. You want me to cut what off and put what on?
Like like Post
hold
Malone walks
on.
in and be like, "Hey man, like I might smoke with you, but you ain't working on me. I'm sorry, man."
Yeah,
Come
that's
on,
100% true.
let me cut it off, man.
No, but I
I
mean, like, you see so many, and there's a big trend on TikTok. I'm not sure if you've seen, where like really pretty girls will graduate high school, go off to their first year of college. You've
hmm
seen that? Yeah. And come back and like, what in the world happened? Like, okay, the freshman 15 was something, but
Right.
not the freshman shaved, blue-haired,
hmm
face piercing, armpit
unshaved,
hair. Yeah.
unshaved, yeah,
Like,
unshaved.
what happened?
Yeah.
Like, just gain some weight like the rest of us. Like,
No, they just went fucking full neoliberal and shit on him. Like,
I mean, like it was wild, like, and it was really frightening to see. I mean, but that some professors or adjuncts are sitting back in their office like applauding it, like,
oh
oh
yeah,
yeah, like I got this one to jump the fence. Like, she had a middle upper class, upbringing in Connecticut, and she's going home with blue hair. I win.
right. She came here liking guns. Now she loves socialism. Fuck.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, let's see how her dad handles this.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Well, and a
sticking
lot
it.
of them come back with that Marxist ideology. A lot of them.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it just seems like that they want to destroy the family. So like,
hmm
you get this girl, and there a lot of them, a lot of these kids are from middle to upper class families, so they're just used to getting things that they want. And now you introduce this, like, well, the government will give you whatever you want. Daddy doesn't have to give you this. You don't have to listen to daddy anymore. So, do this and do that. And then they go back home and they try to, and they do that. And a lot of the parents just cower because they, when you have
Listen, the
kids.
government's not going to give you a G-Wagon, so you better hang out with
Right.
dad so you get that at least.
Listen, I don't know where in Florida Dade County, they'll get you a G-Wagon, okay?
That's right. Yeah, no, I'm from like Tampa area. So,
but
not
yeah,
South Florida.
it's like, and these kids are just so spoiled nowadays. Like,
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
my Super Sweet 16 is just turned into reality now. Like,
Oh.
every kid, oh, you didn't get me the iPhone and the color. Wham!
You know,
No, but it's
I
my
blame it
super.
on Caillou. Caillou's little bitch ass. I hate that little
Oh my
cartoon.
gosh.
He
No,
was the
but
whiniest kid ever. And then when my kids started watching him, I was like, "You're not watching this." No.
no, instead of my super sweet 16, I was just thinking it's my super sweet pronouns. So,
Oh, right.
Oh, man.
like, if you don't call me Zer or Zim,
Right.
I don't know what those are anyways.
I don't either.
Not for nothing. I'm not gonna call you anything because, like, I don't talk about you in the third person to you. You're not
Right.
you're not a fucking Marvel villain. So
Yeah.
let's just throw that off the table. I'm not gonna say, hey Zero, hey Zip. No, I'm gonna call you either by your name, hey you, And a lot of times for me, hey, dickhead.
It's like talking a third term is like self-commentary. Like Scott doesn't like this. You know?
You better listen to Trouble because Trouble will find you. It's like, what are you, a WWE wrestler?
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, and I mean, like, that's like, when did you, like, there are biological women that get misgendered all the time, like, but they're not going to go up in arms about it. Like, for the most part, like, you know, in society, people are going to call me she because that's what they see, and that's fine. But like, I was getting my oil change the other day and just, you know, had a big shirt on and just looked like shit, and someone's like, "All right, here you go, sir," and I was like, "Thank you." Like, I didn't you know, put out a publicity report for Take 5 oil change and tell them everyone to boycott them and you
Right.
know, I don't know. I mean,
everybody's looking to get famous nowadays, and everybody's
for
looking for
sure.
that quick dollar. You know, it's and social media has grown that
Oh, amplified it big time.
yeah, amplified it. That's the word I was looking for, but you know, I'm kind of I said grown because it was easier. but that's all, folks. But yeah, everybody just wants to be famous for something because you know a lot of these people after they're done with their 15 minutes, they try to hold on to it. You know, they try to grasp onto it, and ride that, keep riding it some more, and that's all it is people looking for this money and you know, like I was the Quaker Oats kid in the commercial in 1975. Look at me now.
Look how that turned out for Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
Like, you know, childhood stars. I don't know. They're not.
Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, all the Corys. Poor Corey.
Oh man, yeah, right.
Poor
that
Corey.
was sad. But
you're right. I mean, everyone's like, you can call out something and make a big scene about some sort of social justice content, and all of a sudden you have, you know, 1 million followers, and now what?
Yeah.
Now it's days of girlhood for you. Like, go do it.
Oh,
like
that
that's
that Dylan Mulvaney is like the most
sick, yeah.
annoying thing ever.
No, but and someone had pointed it out, like, why is it days of girlhood?
Right.
You're not a girl and you never will be. You're not a woman and you never will be, but like, why not call it days of womanhood? Like, it's directly targeting children.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a spokesperson for tampons.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like me being a spokesperson for Soul Glow. It doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's like
I do spokes work for Magnum condoms. And
oh shit.
Yes. You know the small ones? Yeah, those are the ones I usually spoke for.
No, but it really is like, we can joke about it all day long, but it's like, you know, it's really not that funny. Like,
No.
people are getting sick in society, and you know, the you said you weren't into conspiracies, but you've probably heard of like MK Ultra.
Yep.
Right? Like, you know, that's what it is. It's poisoning
Oh, yeah.
people with propaganda and with media, and people like us that are just saying like, hey, like, you know, we're just kind of normal folks here, like saying that like this is how it's been since the dawn of existence. You know, we're labeled as the fascists and, you know, the people destroying society. Like, that to me is,
yeah. I say it all the
best.
time. I'm a half a dum-dum, and if I can see the stupidity in something, I'm probably right. And if I'm not right, there's a little bit in it that is right, that you can maybe do some research and go, hey, maybe you were a little bit right.
Yeah.
But just to silence
Mhm.
people for trying to change, just give you that little, hey, try to look this up. Well, no, I don't want to look that up. Why? No, I'm
Why?
just going to look this up. Well, you're just looking up what is
I don't need to look it up. CNN, you know, Anderson Cooper will tell me.
Anderson
Anderson
Cooper.
Mhm.
Cooper told me that you are transphobic because you own an AR-15. So I know that you're transphobic because of this. Because there's so much correlation there. Like, if you're a gun owner, you're a transphobe.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, you know, I don't, and my favorite is, I was in a live and some guy comes right in and starts going, I'm here with 5 conservatives. I'm like, dude, I'm not a conservative. I'm not. I think they're all garbage. I don't care this isn't the Giants and the Jets, the Cowboys and the Giants.
Right.
This is people's lives
Yeah.
And these people are like, I don't like all of them. I don't like all of one side. I don't like all of the other. There's certain things I like from certain people. Listen, leave me alone. Let me own my favorite saying, and it'll be with me to my dying day, is I want nothing more than my gay neighbors to own a weed garden and protect it with their AR-15s.
Hell yeah.
That's my like. That's the code that I live by. Like, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do in your own home. If it doesn't affect me, I don't give a fuck. But if you're gonna sit there, I don't even like watching two straight people kiss at a bar and make out. You think I want to watch two gay people making out at a bar? No, I don't want to see anybody making out at a bar. Go home, dude. You got a bedroom. Go to a motel, something else. Go do that over there. I don't want to see it. I mean,
even homeless people do it under a bridge, like
in your car sometimes. But we don't want to take up too much of your Sunday. I really appreciate it. Like I went out and I texted Scott. I go, "Hey, bro, how you doing today?" He's like, "Good, getting ready for the show." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" I had to turn around. I'm so bad at this.
I didn't know if it was going to happen or not, but I'm glad I got to meet you guys and talk. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. Like I said,
glad to have you on.
You're a very interesting person. And I wanted to get to talk to you and see your perspective of things. And we will definitely have you on again. And hopefully, cool. you'll join us again. And hopefully you had a good time.
I did.
That's where we try not to take things too seriously. Try to have a good time, just a regular, normal conversation, because just two idiots on the internet trying to be famous.
So weird. I was like looking.
We like to get stuff out, but we like to have fun.
Yeah.
And I was looking, where can I watch do you put the live, or is it just live, or do you put
it's in YouTube and then under the live slide we have to.
Okay.
Like I said, my wife was saying the same thing. She's like, "Yeah, it doesn't look like you guys posted anything." I'm like, "No, she's like, "Nobody looks at the live thing. You got to put it on the thing."
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know.
Okay, I'll look over there. But yeah, I had a good time, guys. Thank you.
No, we really appreciate it. But yeah, where can everybody find you?
At Dream Roulette on TikTok and YouTube.
Okay. Do you have an Instagram? You do. Yeah, you have an
at the Dream Roulette. It was weird. Right after I posted one viral video, they tried to do all the from every platform like Instagram and Twitter. They're like, but the Dream Roulette on Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you can find me at MW Troublemaker on Twitter, TikTok, which they're about to banana my account, but who cares? Instagram, Business Party Network. Business Party Network on Twitter also. Business Party Podcast. Find us. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter. Twitter's Biz Party Podcast. Correct, Scotto?
Yep. And Scott_Craiglow on Instagram, and Business Party Podcast on Instagram. I'm on delay right now, so I'm trying to cut in at the right time.
And stay on. We just want to, do a little after real quick. All right.
Right on.
But yeah, like every week, we're not here to change your mind. We are just here to open your mind. And
exactly. And fuck the moon. We're going
to Uranus.
Peace. Have a good Sunday, y'all.